Hey guys, welcome back to Musings of Maverick, where today we're going to be looking at Tensura episode 8. So, hopefully I can get this episode and the next episode out of the way before the next episode drops, which should be episode 10, which comes out in about 1.5 days. And last time where we left off, we saw Shizu getting, I guess, consumed or overtaken by the fire spirit residing within her, Ifrit, and we also learned a little bit about her backstory, how she was actually been summoned by the Demon Lord. We don't quite know why the Demon Lord summoned her yet. My theory is that he's trying to do this as a sort of countermeasure against the summons that the other human kingdoms or more other advanced kingdoms are using. And we also see a display of Rimuru's ridiculously OP powers by subduing Ifrit in pretty much no trouble at all. And so now Ifrit is a prisoner within Rimuru's stomach, right? So we don't quite know how of a big shot Ifrit actually is, but I'm assuming that he's ranked pretty highly, considering that Shizu was able to become a very highly regarded adventurer, hero, whatever, in a short amount of time, right? So, what else do I want to say? Oh, keep the comments coming. I'm seeing a lot of people are commenting, giving me more backstory, more information on Tensura. Quite more than other series, in fact. I'm assuming it's because the source material of Tensura has been out for much longer, so people would want to tell me things from the light novels, and I really appreciate that. But it would also be a big help if you can avoid any spoilers, right? Because for me, it's more fun to try to go through this series blind and try to theorycraft my way throughout the story to see if it goes according to expectations or not. And also, I think it would be a better viewing experience for you guys as well if you can see my reactions raw and unfiltered. Right. So, anyways, that's enough of a preface. Let's get right into the story. As usual, I'm cutting out the opening. And let us begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Inherited will. Yeah, we saw last time that because she was controlled by the Demon Lord, she had no control over her actions and killed one of her friends, I'm guessing. Why are you talking like you're dying? Mm-hmm. The hero. Okay, I thought she was the hero. But I guess there's another actual hero who's fighting against the Demon Lord. Oh, so they wear the similar stuff. No wonder. I kept thinking that Shizu was the hero. So I'm guessing that she's going to be a summon as well. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So the reason that Ifrit kind of went on a rampage is because the mask was destroyed or damaged during the fight with the ants. And so you're searching for her? No, she was even fighting against dragons. So that's why she's a champion. I'm actually wondering, does she know that Ifrit has been consumed by slime? Ingrassia. Wow. A school for people who come from another world, so there's that many summons? Okay, so that ties back to... I was wondering about that one. A line from Dragon Quest. Oh, so this is what we saw during the fortune telling. Of the guild? Mm. What? Why would you want revenge, though? If you look at it from a certain perspective, even though the Demon Lord did not do this uh, out of good or justice or whatever, he still saved her life. She was going to be killed by bombs during World War II. I wonder if she's going to keep calling Slime Satoru. Okay, so she does know. You were given a second chance to live. But I don't get it. So what is she dying from? Leon. But what is she dying from? Yeah. What the hell? But don't they want to kind of at least explain this? Yeah, her mom, uh, so she's still a child at heart. But again, I get that, but in the real world, your mom died and you are about to be killed as well. So coming to this world gave you a second chance at life. Oh, so that's why she, well, unisex body or something? So he was able to gain a body because he consumed a human. I wonder if the light novels actually detail their travels. But hey, Rimuru has a human form now. Hey, comes equipped with clothes? Aww. Aww. Oh, they never met the dwarfs? But the other two are okay, but Aaron's gear, I like the old one better. A high-ranked fire spirit. Still no idea what the rank is. Hmm. Okay, so this gives him the reason to continue his adventures. Pigman. Bacon? Gilmut. So he's an orc? And there we have episode 8 of Tensura. So, we learned a lot more about Shizu's backstory, and I guess to me the biggest shock is for some reason she's dying, and I feel like this is probably something that was mentioned in the light novels, but here, for some reason or another, they just forgot to mention it. Like, that was so random. We don't see any sign of this in the last episode, and it's not properly explained in this one either. We know she's old, right? But still, she is in a young body. She's ageless. So is this a fact? Is this a matter of do all summons always retain their youthfulness, their youthful image, but in reality they're still aging, so they can still die of old age? Or is it because maybe the magic that has been sustaining her or something ran out, and so then she's dying? Or is it because uh, Rimuru ripped out Ifrit from her body, and the fact that she was alive was partially because she had Ifrit within her? Like, it's obviously going to be one of these answers, right? But it's just, I don't know, it made the whole thing seem very random. I wasn't sure whether I was supposed to feel bad or not, because it didn't really think that she was in a bad situation, right? Talking as if she's on her deathbed, when in actuality she was, except I didn't know. There was no way for me to know. And so even though she's died, I guess technically dead, I still think probably this is going to be reversed in some way or another. Or I could be completely wrong, but I just felt that she seemed to be a major character within this series. So is she really just going to like die just like that? We know that in Rimuru's body, she's still sort of like we see the endings. We see the ending scene where she runs towards her mother. She never really grew out from being a child at heart. She still misses her mom. She never had a, I guess you could say, a good upbringing or a normal upbringing, because she was summoned at a young age by the Demon Lord, and then probably did biddings of the Demon Lord, right? So, but I'm not sure whether that's just she's kind of like within a long dream within Rimuru's body, or that she's actually dead, right? I have no idea. So I don't know. It just seems very surreal to me. Like, is she really dead? Has she really passed away, and is there a chance for her to return or not, right? It's like I said, I don't really quite know how to feel about this subject because it's so out of the blue. Um, and also, the same goes for her, I guess, kind of interactions with the other three adventuring party members. So, again, because we didn't really see much screen time of them traveling together. So, even though I thought it was quite nice and quite heartwarming to see them, asking Rimuru to change into that form and then send her off one last time, it was a nice gesture, right? It was a nice touch, but probably the impact would be larger if we had an idea of how long they actually traveled for, and along with the hardships that they met along the way. But we don't know, right? So this whole thing then seems kind of arbitrary and I wouldn't want to say forced, but it's not something that you can have sympathy with, right? You can't emphasize with characters who just came out of the blue, and then this is something that which is why I normally, if the original work is in a light novel or manga form, I would prefer to consume the series within that form, because it has the time for you to really digest all the character interactions, the backstory, and whatnot, and properly feel all those emotions. Here, they were here, and Shizu was here, and now she's gone, and I can't really feel anything because I haven't known her or her other companions long enough, right? So I guess that's just one of the limitations of anime as a whole, but if they really did expand on this a lot within the light novel and manga, I'd be pretty bummed if I was a fan of the series and I saw its adaptation like this, right? So, just it's not a complaint or anything. It's just I just wanted to point that fact out, right? It's just a fact. I'm not going to say anything negative about it, but it's hard to emphasize with these characters. We learn a little bit more about the hero. So originally I thought that the hero they were talking about was going to be Shizu, but it turns out that there's another hero as well. She later turned into because the hero defeated the demon lord, or at least chased him out, so Shizu became, I guess, on the side of good again. She became an instructor. She became a champion. And one of her students actually became the guildmaster. So I reckon that will probably play an important role in the future when Rimuru finally decides to make contact with the human world, right? And let's see, what else? So we finally get to see Rimuru's human form. This was pretty much spoiled because if you watch the opening or the ending, you would know of Rimuru's human form. But still, it was nice to finally be able to see Rimuru in a human form so he can have better interactions with other humanoid characters. And again, I guess it's kind of like unisex body, so she looks like a female but actually a male. It's just Japan things, right? It's this kind of character design is, I wouldn't really say unheard of before, but still, they made very clear how her sexual characteristics were with that butt shot and all. I just thought that was a little bit funny. And what else? Okay, one thing that I did want to touch on that I was complaining of in the last few episodes was we finally have a reason for Rimuru for this story to exist, right? Because when Rimuru was summoned here, first of all, we don't even know whether he was summoned or not. I'm assuming that he was summoned, except through a more unorthodox method. But I generally don't think that people would just reincarnate in this world for no particular reason. So I'm still holding on to the theory that he was summoned by a particular being, and it's just that it was a more unorthodox method, so he wasn't able to meet the person who summoned him. It could have been a god, it could have been someone else, or I could be completely wrong, but that's the theory I'm going to go with for now. And so he came into this world, and we don't really know what his motivation for continuing to do things are, right? He did mention something like he wants to create a world where all races can live together in peace, but we don't get into the backstory of why he needs to feel that way, right? Did he experience or encounter some racism between the monsters, or back within his human life? Or why does he suddenly want to pursue this ideal? And here we finally have a better reason, basically, for him to go out adventuring, and also, I guess you can say, to progress the story. Because if all he wanted to do was build a nice, peaceful village in the middle of the forest, then that would pretty much be it, right? So he's already got all his necessities, and whenever he needs something, he just goes out and either buys it or finds somebody who can do it, and that's that. But there would be no reason for him to travel basically outside of this forest. But now he has a purpose, he has a mission. He's trying to find the demon lord and then carry out Shizu's last request. And speaking of which, so another thing that I kept mentioning throughout the episode is, yeah, I get it, right? The demon lord forced Shizu to, uh, like, kill one of her friends or whatnot, but she mentioned that she doesn't really like this world, right? She just wants to return to the place that she was before, and she wishes for that for the other children who were brought here as well. Now, I'm not sure how the circumstances is for the other children, right? So maybe they were forcefully summoned here, even though they were living a good and ordinary life back in the real world. But in Shizu's case, her mother had already died from the bombings, and she herself was uh, about to become a victim as well. Obviously, we don't know if she would have died or not, but chances are pretty likely when there's an air raid coming and you're running around in the streets without shelter, you're probably in a pretty bad spot, right? So, in some cases, or from a certain perspective, you can say that the Demon Lord was the person who saved her life. So, if I was in the same situation, right, I would, even if this guy is not acting out of, even if Demon Lord Leon is not acting out of altruistic reasons, still, the dude saved your life, right? Uh, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that he can, that I would be okay with him just slaving over me and whatnot, but still, I don't quite get the resentment of being brought over to this world when it essentially gave you a second chance. That's what the gist of what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that about covers it, and I guess from next episode on, we will probably see Rimuru preparing, or maybe even already traveling to another place to start searching for information on the Demon Lord and whatnot. Or, actually, no, hold on a second. In the very ending, we saw some shady characters where there's this pig guy who's apparently an orc, or whatever. And so this other dude, this mysterious mask-wearing dude, says that he's going to become the orc disaster of the Great Forest. So I'm assuming that he's going to be launching an attack sometime soon, maybe even in the next episode. But who is that? What is he doing? What's his agenda? No idea, right? Uh, Although if you can be named, then I'm guessing that he's probably also of a monster race as well. So I guess we can infer that much. And yeah, that's about it. We don't have nearly as much information as can be used to start generating or hypothesizing about things. So I guess we should just move on to the next episode. If there's some backstory that I actually missed that's relevant to what's happened this episode, please let me know. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.